Dark Troopers. We all know them. We've all seen them. Well, you've seen them if you watch The Mandalorian. But they've existed both in canon and in Legends. You've seen mine from the last week video from last week. We have my Phase 0 and my Phase 2. For those who don't know, I'm going to give a little bit of a brief explanation of the Dark Troopers before we get into the real meat and potatoes of this video. So, the Dark Trooper project was funded by Emperor Palpatine, was run under by General Mech during the Galactic Empire rule. And it was all done on board of the ship called the Arkhammer, which is this big, kind of stupid, spindly-looking thing. It's a weird-looking ship. These were droids. The Dark Trooper project originally started with the Phase 0 version, which was taking clone troopers and modifying their bodies with augmentations and cybernetics for them to be more efficient and more effective, and listen to the orders a little bit better. They eventually went away from this decision, and under General Mech, they went towards droids, which went from Phase 1 to Phase 2 to Phase 3, with a couple of other versions in between during that time. Generally, all of it didn't work out. It was a failure. All of it was destroyed. So that's the brief history, right? So, looking at my versions that I have here, we have the Phase 0, which was the ones of the veterans. We have the Phase 2, which is one of the robotic ones, and the ones from canon, which are also robotic, but not as combat efficient as the Legends ones. So, the Phase 3, I have my own version, but there's a little bit of, like, a process to it. So, obviously, I have my own headcanon. Everyone has their own headcanons, right? So, I'll show you some of that. Move that away. Wrong direction. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. So, for my version, at the same time as that project, was these guys. So, during the time that the Phase 1 project was starting, the Empire was also looking into piloted suits that they were making at the same time as they were making Space Troopers. So if you don't know, there's also a Space Trooper in Star Wars and the Legends. It is basically like a mechanical suit for the Stormtroopers to be sitting in. They took that concept and expanded on it by making this kind of power armor. They're very tall. They're very hefty. They are run via this battery pack on the back, right here. So there's the battery pack. This is a massive thermal detonator. And they use these modified anti-personnel weapons. So these were used very, very rarely. They were very expensive to manufacture, and the project was all in all a failure as well at the same time as the Dark Trooper project failed. These were mostly stationed in very, very secure lab areas, so you don't really see them often, and they were able to be piloted by a minifig. So the Stormtrooper that is in there is able to get out of the suit. Unlike the Dark Troopers, which are just droids, there's no human in it, there's no human element involved other than the Phase 0 version. These versions were piloted by humans, and these helped produce the Phase 3 version, which the Phase 3 is the Dark Trooper, but much bigger with rockets and jetpacks and all of that jazz, right? So this is my version of the beginning. This is just, I don't really have a name for it. It doesn't really have a name. I could think up of something, but I'd rather just be a nameless Stormtrooper mech suit kind of deal. It's all articulatable, right? So this can articulate, the hands can articulate. It has actual hands. Let me remove the gun. Pop out of there. All of this can move, right? Side to side rotation. Hands are able to move. The instructions for this guy are on my Rubricable, for those that are interested, but just this one, not all the versions. And then, here's this just opening. His helmet's stuck. There we go. Nice and easy, right? So, the other version is a Shock Trooper variant. It is basically a very similar style, a little bit chunkier, less rounded as this one. This one is a lot sharper edges. I felt that fit the Shock Trooper aesthetic a bit more. And instead of this rifle, he has a rocket launcher, which I just thought kind of gave it a little bit of a unique kind of style. The red with the grills everywhere. Also, backpack, but smaller this time. It's with no. So normally you could put the trooper's gun here, but I think I might have lost it. And then, as you can see for the joints, I use tires. The tires kind of put away the mixel ball joints. I think it fits a little better. And so these two were created before the Phase 3 version was started, right? The Phase 3 Dark Trooper. And then they created the platform for the Phase 3, which is this guy. So you'll notice that this basically looks like a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. The scaling might be a little bit off. It's kind of hard to tell how big Phase 3 Dark Troopers are. In some comics, they are shown to be very, very short. In the games, Empire at War, which is more of what I'm using as a reference, they are shown to be very, very large. So I'm kind of going in an in-between scale. So you could see this either as a mech suit or as a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. I made it as the precursor to the Phase 3 Dark Trooper, but I have also used it as a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. The main difference would just be you wouldn't have this big chain gun here, and he'd be able to have rockets coming out of here. So he is very similarly styled to the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. Of course, I can't get it perfect because, it's Lego. If I wanted it to be as accurate as possible, I would need it to be a bit smaller, more compact, and that kind of stuff. But I wanted to go for more of like my own aesthetic for this model, and so this is kind of the decision I went with. So you'll see it kind of has the fairings on the shoulders that you'll see on the Phase 3s right here. It's not fully done because I don't have all the parts. I don't have as much black pieces as I would like, so I was very limited on parts with this model. But the chain gun ended up actually turning out really good, so I'm very happy with this. And the chain gun is able to be used in 2 different scenarios. So there's 2 ways for the guy to hold it. So if you look at the chain gun, right, there's 2 bar connections. You can just fold this guy and have him just hold it like that. So let me do that real quick so you can see what I mean. Clip this guy in. There we go. Like so. There we go. So he's the same as the others as well. They're all based on kind of a very similar frame. You'll notice that it's the main center body is the Nexonites. Those like little Nexonite mechs that you could get for like, I think it was like $8 or something. As soon as I saw the white and red one, I needed both of them and immediately turned them into the mech suits. That like I wanted to do that as soon as those parts came out. It would be cool to possibly make some other colors or some other variants, but there's not too much that I could do. Now that we do have a mortar trooper, maybe a mortar variant could be cool, but the new helmets sadly don't work very well in this suit. The old helmets work a lot better, because the old helmets can be able to fit in this, where the new helmets, they actually pop off a bit, and that kind of bugs me, and they can't rotate their heads, which I find kind of important for selling this as a single unit instead of a dude in a suit. Because again, I use it as both. It can kind of be perceived as both. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for right now. I just wanted to show you some more infantry-related stuff, some of my own headcanon stuff for today. So yeah, updates with me. I'm hoping to actually take this Dark Trooper's gun and make it as a little set of instructions for free on my Rebrickable, just because, like, I think this is the most accurate version of the gun I've been able to get so far. The gun is very weird looking if you look at the model from Empire at War, Forces of Corruption. It is very chunky, it's very long, it's also, if you haven't noticed, there's these guys are in black. In universe, I think they're actually supposed to be dark bluish gray. Sadly, I don't think the piece that I'm using for the shoulders exists in dark bluish gray. This guy right here, I don't think... Oh, focus, please. Thank you. This guy right here, I don't think exists in dark bluish gray. If it does, let me know. Maybe I'll go see if I can find it, and then it'll be even more accurate. But until then, I'm just using the black Stormtrooper as I have, because that's what I have available. The Shadow Stormtroopers for the 2012 Battle Pack, I think? Yeah. Other updates with me. Instagram changed its systems, so that kind of sucks. A lot of LEGO people have been complaining about that we are no longer getting the retention that we would like. So go complain at Instagram for us. It sucks. It's not fun. Check out my Instagram if you're interested. The link is in the description below and is in my bio for YouTube, I think, as well. Still working on the ATAA. We're getting closer to being done. It is currently at like 3,500 pieces, $600 piece cost. We're still working on it. I might be making another version with electronics. I am not sure yet. I have not decided whether that's worth the endeavor, because then I have to make 2 completely separate instructions, unless I can find a way to make it one single instruction and just modify some parts. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye. Peace.